Welcome to Friday 13th YouTube channel Metalheads. Today we're going to be talking about the new album by Scandinavian melodic hard rock band Skagarack, who just released a new album called Heart and Soul, released on the 25th of August 2023. Originally formed back in 1980 in Denmark, this band recorded 4 fantastic albums back in the early stages. Now in the early stages, the band would consist of vocalist Torben Schmidt, who's still with the band today. We'd also have Avelin Kott on drums. He was in the band between 86 and 93. We'd have Jan Peterson on guitars between 86 and still with the band now. We'd have Tommy Rasmussen on keyboards from 86 to 93. We'd have Martin Much on bass between 1986 and 1993. We'd have Steve Bolian on keyboards 1993. Lars Dungeland on drums, who was in the band from 1993. Lars Dangeland on drums, who played in 1993. We'd have Alan Gade on guitars in 1993, and also Jens Brockhoff on bass guitar. He was with the band in 1993. Now, the band released their debut album, which is a self-titled album, Skagarack, back in 1986. This was a fantastic album. It got the band lots and lots of airplay on MTV. I remember seeing a couple of the videos back in the day, and I was very impressed for what they did. For a Danish band, they were coming across as a hard rock AOR band with a lot of potential. They kind of reminded me of a Danish version of Survivor, another classic band from the US. Self-titled album had a lot of potential and it was getting some fantastic reviews. Now, this would be followed up by Hungry for a Game. Me, personally, it's my favourite album by the band. It's absolutely fantastic. It was released in 1988, released on Polydor Records. Now, the band would release their third album, which was called A Slice of Heaven. This was another fantastic album. This was released on a label called Melodic Records, which is part of Polydor. Slightly different label to what they were with the first 2 albums, but still part of the Polydor group. Now, for some strange reason, Skagarack broke up and the vocalist Torben Schmidt decided to release a solo album. This was called A Bit on the Side. It was released in 1991. Very good solo album, kind of reminded me of Survivor, a little bit of Skagarack and Strange Ways, but still a great album by a fantastic singer. Now, Torben would release a second album in 2012. It was called Long Story Short. Getting back to the first album, folks, the band released a video called I'm Alone. Some of you guys may remember that. It was a fantastic song. Like I said, it got a lot of airplay on MTV, and it really put the band on the map for a Scandinavian act. In 1993, the band would have released their last album. It was called Big Time. It was a pretty good album, but it didn't have the impact or the success of the first 3 previous albums. Still a good album, but it's good to see that the band have reformed with singer Torben Schmidt on vocals. So the album Heart and Soul is a really good comeback album. Maybe not slightly as good as the first 3 albums, but it's a good start for a comeback album. The band reformed back in 2020 and played some shows around Scandinavia. The fans were impressed with what they were doing. They were good. It was also great to see them back on the scene. The popularity made them realize that they needed to do a new album, so they recorded the album Heart and Soul, which pretty much took between 2 and 3 years to write and record. So the current lineup for the new album is Torben Schmidt on vocals and guitars. We'd have Jan Peterson on guitar and vocals. Dennis Pedersen on drums. We'd have Ken Ra Smith on keyboards and vocals. And would also have Rasmus Mathiasen on bass and vocals. Now, the album was recorded, mixed and produced by vocalist Torben Schmidt at Crocodile Lynn Studios. He's done a fantastic job. He certainly knows what he's doing. He's been around for many, many years as a producer and an artist. So this album contains 12 songs. So I'm going to tell you what the song titles are, folks. We have Give It, Peace of Mind, Have a Good Time, Cool Damn Car, Heart and Soul, Talking About Jesus, Changing, Cool to Be Old School, Be With You Forever, Where Have You Been, Ain't Nothing to Lose, So Right, and the last song, Anymore. Now, the opening track, Give It, is a fantastic opening song. Torben's vocals are definitely on top form, just like it was back in the day. He's never lost his voice, and this album really shows the strength of his vocals. This song has a vibe of early Skagarack. It also has a little bit of Survivor, but it also reminds me of the band Strange Ways. So if you're a fan of Strange Ways' early material, this is a really good song for you to check out. It's the first song on the album. It's called Give It. Now, the next song is called Peace of Mind, To Have a Good Time. This kind of reminds me of Lana Miles' Black Velvet, a classic song. It's got a real good blues vibe to it. So if you like your hard rock and blues, this is a fantastic song. Torben's vocals are fantastic. The rest of the band are coming together and writing some really good song structures for this song. And this song is called Peace of Mind. Now, the next song is called A Cool Damn Car. This kind of reminds me a little bit of Bryan Adams. It's a pretty good song. It's pretty laid back. It's pretty bluesy in places. I think the full album's got a lot of blues in it. I much prefer the early material by Skagarack. I'm not saying that this is a bad album, because it's got some really good song structures and good songs, especially with the vocals. But if you're an old school fan, you like the early Skagarack albums, Slice of Heaven is the album that you really need to check out. Now, the next song is called Heart and Soul, the title track. This is more like, I really like this song. It's still got that hard rock blues vibe to it. It's not as AOR as it was back in the early stages of Skagarack's material, but it's still a strong song. It's got some really good melody hooks, fantastic vocals, all around arrangements are really well put together for this song. The title track is called Heart and Soul. For me, the next song I'm going to talk about is a song called Changing. This is a really, really good song. It's got a real good hard rock AOR vibe to it. Still got that bluesy vibe, don't get me wrong, but it kind of reminds me a lot of Strange Ways, just the hooks, the feel, and the vibe. It's a brilliant song. It's called Changing. And if you want to check out a song on the album, check out this one. You won't be disappointed. Now, another song on the album is called Cool to Be Old School. This is more like it, folks. This is taking me back to the early Skagarack material. It's really well put together. Some brilliant vocals and lyrics on here. It has some really strong structured guitar and some really nice solid harmony vocals and all around rhythm section. It's a fantastic song. It's called Cool to Be Old School. Another great song on the album is called Be With You Forever. This is a really cool song as well. It's very hard rock AOR. Still got that, like I said, that bluesy vibe. Skagarack seemed to be obviously influenced by blues music. Nothing wrong with that, some great musicians. And if it wasn't for blues, heavy metal wouldn't have been formed. And as the album progresses towards the end, it seemed to be apparent that there seemed to be more early Skagarack music in this album. Starts off being bluesy, it goes to hard rock blues, and then goes back to the melodic AOR hard rock with a little hint of blues. So all around, this is a pretty good comeback album. I wish these guys all the best. Please check out the interview with Torben. It's going to be a fantastic interview. So, guys, I'm going to give this album 4 out of 5. I wish them all the best. And I'm pretty sure the next album will take me back to the early stages of Skagarack's material. Let's hope so. But still, this is a good album. Check it out, Metalheads. It's by Skagarack.